from USA who is specially traveled to India for this conference. Mr. Ajay Tyagi, Chief Executive Officer of RialtesTechnologies. Technologies. They have some interesting solutions for affordable housing and he'll talk about the same in his speech. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. And I think that last address was amazing, and for the work that Sir has done, we all need to clap one more time. So, my name is Ajay. I'm the founder and CEO of Realtes Technologies. We are based out of Austin, Texas, but we have our office in the World Trade Center in Pune. We are into the space of providing software technology for the real estate market, both on the government side as well as on the enterprise side, where the real estate builders, the commercial clients can actually use the technology to enable a successful implementation of a big, small to large project, and kind of maintain the entire life cycle on a single platform, totally integrated with the citizens, totally integrated with the consumers, and having an entire life cycle very much with 100% transparency. So we're going to talk about a couple of slides which talks what are the things that the company is working on, what are the offerings that we have. So, but I'm going to take a couple of slides to talk about how we think about the affordable housing and how the US market is looking at it and how it's transformed into the Indian market. So it is definitely, it does impact the individual. If you do not have a housing or you are living in a house which is not as per, you don't feel comfortable with. So definitely that's an impact individually. It does improve, when you have the correct housing, it does improve your physical as well as mental health. It improves your social presence, your interaction with your friends, with your colleagues. It does overall, from an organizational point of view, also helps you kind of improve at the living standard. And finally, which is the most important thing and the pressing need, especially outside India and within India, is the community engagement. When you have affordable housing where people who do not have the capability to kind of go ahead and live in a quite suitable environment, if you provide the affordable housing, it kind of helps them to kind of connect better with the community, right? There's always a hindrance when you are not up to that mark, you want to be at a house, and then when you are at that location or that particular housing capability, you tend to more engage with the community and kind of go ahead and talk more about the things that are around the world. So, and that is driven, obviously, that these are the factors that actually drive the policy making, I'm sure, in the United States as well as in India. So let's talk about a couple of things about the housing in India and the trends and the challenges. So we all know that everybody is moving from villages to the urban, to the cities, and there's a rapid growth in urbanization. That is one of the reasons where, there are various classes of people who are moving, whether it is just, the people who are working in the construction, the people who are looking at new jobs, but there are only limited houses that, a city can produce over a period of time. But the urbanization is happening quite rapidly compared to the growth of the housing sector in each of the cities. The other thing that leads to is an urban congestion, because we do not have enough houses to sustain with the growth that people are doing because of the urbanization. There is a congestion and there's the need of affordable housing. On an average, there is a shortage of almost 18.8 million homes as of 2012, and as of 2019, this data is way up. That this is a shortage projected to grow up to 30 million houses in India by 2022. Can negatively impact economy of the growth. Of course, there were certain humane factors that we considered in the last slide, and if you consider all of them together, this does eventually impact the community, and that community impacts the city, and then the overall growth as its a cumulative effect. So definitely, there is an urgent need for affordable housing where we don't have to shell a lot of money to kind of go ahead and get a suitable housing. So let's talk about the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is housing for all. It was launched in 2015 by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and the target is to have housing for all, a dream by 2022. And that's something that we are very motivated in the organization, and we are trying to implement the best things that we implemented in America, in United States. We want to drive it towards the Indian market as well. So let's look at from a Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Maharashtra is definitely a leading state as far as the national achievements are concerned in the affordable housing. We have almost around 50% of the Maharashtra that has achieved its target compared to the target that they set year and year for them. So this is definitely a great achievement. There's still a lot of work to be done, but still, considering the national and where we are in 2019, we have already achieved 50% of the target that we set for ourselves. But there's still certain challenges that every government organization, every construction enterprise that faces, and that is the challenge in beneficiary selection. You have an affordable housing, how do you find that this is the most vulnerable person in the society that needs to have access to that housing? The implementation of agency capacity constraints. Because of the urbanization, because of so many people coming to the cities, there is definitely a lot of pressure on the agencies, on the federal government and the state government to kind of implement policies in a short time compared to the time that they used to have. So there's a lot of capability that is required in terms of automation, in terms of software and technology that can enable them to improve and reduce the gap that they have in terms of what is needed as business policies to be implemented by government agencies and what is it that is coming as of now. There's a lack of suitable maintenance mechanism, and obviously there are certain lengthy processes which obviously the government and the state, everybody is working to reduce so that the benefit can go quicker and faster to the citizens of India. So let's talk about how does Rialtes actually, as a technology company, helps to resolve this issue both in the United States as well as in India. We have two platforms, and one of this is GovHouse. And GovHouse is a platform that is used by the housing authorities across the United States as well as some of the property management companies in the US. We are also working with some of the entrepreneurs here in India who are actually planning to utilize the capabilities and the features of the software that kind of takes care of all the challenges that you saw on the previous slide. So what does GovHouse do actually? It helps you, first of all, one of the challenges that we had is how do I know which beneficiary is the right beneficiary? I think that is the biggest question that comes in terms of affordable housing. And GovHouse actually solves that problem. There's a defined process that is there. You have a proper wait list where people can apply using the online portal. You can actually go ahead and get selected based on criteria. So let's say if somebody has served in army or somebody is disabled, those are the criteria that you can put together and you can do a selection for the most vulnerable person who needs the most housing urgently. Similarly, there's a huge module that we have built for the operation management, construction management, job costing, procurement, accounting, general ledger, and every cycle from the start of a construction till the end of handover of a key to a beneficiary is managed within one cloud platform, and with 100% transparency. There is a learning management. That means in case if whoever is implementing or the government employees wants to go ahead and learn what are the processes that the government is implementing, we have learning management that can take care of it. Today's world is a mobile-first world. Everybody wants to do everything from their iPhones or from their Android devices, and that's why everything that you can do on the desktop, you can do it from a mobile phone. So even every official in the government, all the applicants, any end user can do the entire solution from an iPhone or an Android device. We have public portals. We have analytic engines that is baked into the real estate industry, and there are a lot of things that are in and around. Accounting is definitely the core where you have to make sure that you are complying with GST, the regulations of the finance department, and also a lot of procurement and purchasing the entire invoice is also part. So you can see, looking at the entire software solution, it kind of covers up the entire life cycle of managing a government-backed affordable housing project. And just to let you know and to share an example, the city of San Diego is actually implementing this, and they have actually went ahead and did the applicant portal, where you can actually go ahead and the people who are homeless or are in need of housing can apply. They use the selection criteria and they go ahead and implement this, and they can get the housing depending upon the verification of their documents and everything. So they have done a piece of it, but yes, definitely it is something that they have used. How does it solve the problem? I'm going to just move quickly to those slides for the beneficiary selection. There's the efficiency in agency, there's the property maintenance that you can do, and definitely there's a clearance in the approval that is a part of it. What makes it world's best in class? It is accessible. Everything is on a mobile. It is built on the world's #1 cloud computing platform, which is Salesforce. It has got all the customizations that you need, because we all know that not one size fits all kind of a thing, so we can customize it region-wide. So we are working with China, we are working with other countries where we can customize the software according to their needs, with our focus being in Pune, in Maharashtra, focus on the western part of the country. Trackable, everything, it's a 100% audit traceable system. That means anybody who makes a change on any record is tracked, who changed what at what time and from what value to what value. And finally, it is affordable. That means it comes with a price tag which is quite reasonable compared to the Indian market. So if it is used in US, doesn't mean that it is expensive. It is actually very compatible compared to the Indian market. That was Gulf House. We do have Realforce, which is for the enterprise or the commercial players in the real estate, who are the builders, the property construction people, enterprises. So that again, we help them on their marketing capabilities. We help them in real estate analytics, advanced operations, and they can actually take digital payments as well. And it is integrated with one of the top banking financial institutions. This is a case study of one of the top US housing authority, and what they achieved is almost 1 lakh paper-based applications were converted to digital files. Systems use artificial intelligence-based rules for selection rather than just random selections. There were digital communications with folks using SMS and emails along with paper, because some of the older folks or people who wants to have actual paper-based communication, they want to keep it with them. There was 100% audit capability for transparency. Finally, the intake of application and selection on a year-to-year increased by 35%. So they were able to support 35% more of the applications, and there was a total 25% of more homeless people or people who were in need of affordable housing were actually able to move into the housing. So, and that was all out of the implementation of the software. We are located in the World Trade Center in Pune. We have our global delivery center there, and we have a global delivery center in Cedar Park, Arrow Point, Texas, and we are headquartered in Austin, Texas, Congress Avenue. And we are very happy to be here, and if you have any questions, we have a booth outside, so do stop by, we welcome you, and if you want to know anything, our team will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much.